nutrition. I have some good information for you to start with, and then we'll kind of get into the bulk of the coaching session. You can anticipate this call being about 15 minutes or so, and then I'll kind of hang out after the call to see if you have any questions or want to talk a little bit more about the program. So basically, what this group coaching Explore Nutrition program is kind of based on is that we wanted to give individuals an opportunity to have kind of a different set of an opportunity to go through health coaching. Normally what I I guess started doing for the group was more of a one-on-one, and I still do that. I do a lot of one-on-one coaching sessions, but I understand that, you know, the needs are different and everybody kind of, you know, is drawn to different, I guess, venues and opportunities to go through coaching. So what we devised was this group coaching, and in a sense, we're all in a room together, right? Kind of geographically spread apart, but the intent is for you to kind of go through the process, but in a technical setting, in a digital setting. So hopefully this is beneficial to you, and along the way, I'm here to be supportive. If you want to follow up with an email or a phone call throughout the session, that would be great as well. So I did send out the presentation prior, and I apologize that it wasn't very far in advance, but I do intend to send those out as far in advance as I can. And then after the call, I will send a recap message with a link to the recording if you want to re-listen, or if you happen to miss part of it or all of it. I get it, you know, that happens. So to kind of kick us off, oh, you know what, maybe I can just have a little, everybody kind of say hi again. I just wanted to make sure that I have a few people that had some audio issues. Is everybody able to hear me? Can you just say hi in the questions box? Okay, we have some people that can hear. Let me just see here. Okay, you know, I think we're going to just continue because I know the recording is recording. So once again, I will send those out after the group coaching session for those of you who may not be able to hear me at this point. So gotta love technology. It works when it works, and when it doesn't, it's kind of a bummer. All right, so first and foremost, some of you have maybe never gone through a coaching session, or maybe don't know what coaching is. So I don't want to assume. And oh, okay, everybody can hear that is having problems. Okay, all right, cool. So health coaching is really an opportunity to focus on what you want for your health and your wellness. It's an opportunity to kind of put that into motion through, you know, goals and objectives that are really intended to be worked on week to week. And the environment is supportive, it's hopefully energizing and motivating and inspiring, and that's really what this is all about. So the group coaching is set up to be confidential. So I can see people who are attending, but the attendees, you guys can't see the other attendees. And that's really meant to be protective. It's somewhat of a health environment. I don't want anybody to shy away because they think the other people are kind of knowing that they're participating. That's not the case. It's really a confidential environment. And, you know, when you do type in your questions, they are confidential as well. So I'll try to keep that that confidential moving forward. And then beyond that, the sessions will be 5 weeks long. So we'll meet at 5 o'clock every Wednesday. And once again, if life happens, if you're unable to make it, no problem. I'll make sure to send out the recording after the session as well. So we'll go from there. All right, cool. Let's move on. Okay, so a good question to kind of kick us off. So why are we here? You know, why are you here with us today? I'm very happy you are here, but what is the reason why you kind of are motivated to sign up for these sessions? It's probably something to do with your health, kind of kicking off what you want for yourself, or maybe sparking that motivation. You know why you're here, you know what you want to achieve, so kind of how do we get from point A to point B, right? So the next plan is to really develop an action plan, or to develop some steps to get you to that point. The first thing to identify is your why. And, you know, you may have heard that before. Your motivation, your why is the reason why you're motivated to make the change now. And I really stress that this reason has to be purely yours, meaning it can't be, you know, something that your doctor wants you to do, or your wife wants you to do, or your spouse, I should say. It really should be something that you want for yourself first. Now, those other people's opinions matter and they're important, but to really have that motivation be in the right direction, it has to stem from you. So when you kind of are deciding on those reasons or reason, I really can't stress this enough, but writing it down and revisiting it often is a really good place to be. You know, when you go through the ebbs and flows of motivation and inspiration, having that kind of that go-to place where you have your notes and your reasons can kind of re-spark that motivation. And then from there, we kind of create the next step to that wellness vision, or kind of that place where you want to be. So what does that look like? You know, it can be words, it can be pictures, it can be a feeling. What does that look like specifically for you? Because it's individualized, it's individual for you and what you want. So kind of formulating that, you know, when I do X, I will be, you know, I will be re-energized. I won't have, you know, this extra weight to carry on, or I'll be able to keep up with my family. I'll be able to take that trip I've been wanting to take. I'll be able to, you know, not be so stressed. You know, whatever that is kind of where you physically can picture yourself. So once again, write this down, draw a picture, if you're a drawer, cut out some magazines, you know, to kind of develop what that wellness vision looks like for you. So on the screen are some sample vision statements. So now, once again, these are just samples for other people, but you know, it kind of gives you an idea of what it could potentially look like. What your vision is at the end of this, or in that maintenance place that you are striving to be in. So I'll kind of read a few. To feel good about the foods that I put in my body, and not to have regrets or guilt after I eat. To have enough energy to sustain my busy schedule. To be able to live long enough to play with my grandkids. So these are all really inspiring and individualized, based around you and what you want for yourself. Okay, so that's the wellness vision is kind of the end game, where you want to be. So how do we get there? What I really like to do is develop SMART goals, and maybe you've heard of SMART goals before, and they're very versatile. They can be used in many different environments, specifically with coaching. So what the SMART goals are basically an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-based. So when you have a goal, you know, sometimes you're like, well, I want to lose weight, right? So that's a goal. But is it a SMART goal? No, because it's not, you know, the steps to get you to where you want to be, you know? So I'm thinking, okay, so if you break that down, specific, spelling out the who, the what, the where, and the when. An example of a specific goal would be, I want to eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, 5 days a week. So whatever that is, you know, is very specific. It has a very actionable presence to it. Measure. The M is for measure. You should be able to measure your goal and how to attain it or meet that goal. Attainable and realistic, weighing the effort and time with other obligations and priorities. So it's kind of that balancing act, walking that fine line so you don't set yourself up for failure. You can start small enough, have some achievements, and then you kind of can keep going back and forth. And then time, setting a deadline or a time frame to achieve your goals, time-based, right? So I'll kind of lead you with a few more additional goal setting tips as we near the end of our call. So remember your why and your motivation for this goal. Revisit your vision often for inspiration. Be flexible and forgiving. If you get off track, don't get too down on yourself. Just pick up where you left off. Don't think of it as constantly starting over. Just pick up where you left off. That's kind of a little easier place to digest than, oh gosh, I had a bad weekend, so I have to start over. No, where can you start next? If it's the next meal, it's the next day, the next whatever. Just pick up where you left off. Stay positive. Positive self-talk is really encouraging, and negative self-talk is really difficult to have any achievement. So kind of keeping that positivity with yourself in your mindset, it can be really beneficial. Learn from your setbacks. So have you attempted this goal in the past? How has that worked for you? What can you do differently this time? What were some of the barriers that maybe presented an issue that didn't lead you to accomplish that goal? And I'll kind of leave you with one of my favorite quotes is from Albert Einstein. It's kind of a good kind of place to check in. Okay, so it's it's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results, right? So we do that to ourselves. We're like, well, I keep eating the same way, and I just don't have results, right? So why do we do that? What can we do differently? How can you change your approach this time? Okay. All right. So I will send out an email recap about this, but what I would like for you to do before next time is to start focusing on your wellness vision and start crafting out your why. See what that looks like for you. What's your reasons? And then from there, if you could, if you're to that place, write out a SMART goal and see how that can relate to your vision. And then kind of recapping that definition of insanity. What are some of your barriers? What have you experienced in the past that have maybe stopped you from being successful with your goal? And kind of getting that out there and being honest with yourself to move forward. So that is what I'll ask of you. If you want, feel free to send me this information via email. I'd be more than happy to reflect on that for you. No need to, it's not required, but just an opportunity to kind of be more engaged. Otherwise, that is all I have for you guys. I'll kind of hang out on the line for a couple minutes if anybody has any questions they want to type in. Otherwise, you can raise your hand and I can open up your mic. Otherwise, I will plan on talking to you guys next week, Wednesday at 5 o'clock Central Time. Thanks for being on the call and your patience with my technical issues earlier, and we'll talk to you next week. Thanks, guys.